Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to today's live session. So, we're going to continue our one-shot videos on today's topic will be the kinematics and laws of motion. So, just like yesterday, we'll be covering concepts wherever it is required, plus our PYQ questions covering different types of models. So, the topics that we have chosen, kinematics and laws of motion, they are the basic chapters where we can expect easily. So, kinematics, 2 questions, laws of motion, 2 questions, but 3 to 4 questions compulsory. That means we are going to secure around 12 to 16 marks for today. So, again, the kinematics consists of 2 topics, straight line and plane, and laws of motion will try to include few questions on friction as well. So, again, if you're looking the concept part, what is the concept that is required for kinematics? Again, it is a very basic chapter where you have been learning from 8th class. So it deals with terms like distance, displacement, velocity, including average velocity and instantaneous velocity. So speed, average speed, instantaneous speed, and finally acceleration, both average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. So if you know the definitions, it's halfway done. Then what else is required is when identifying motion, if it is uniform, accelerated motion, that's where the majority of the questions will be coming. Where we have to ready to use V is equal to U plus 18 and be careful with the directions. S is equal to UT plus half AT square and V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Then finally Sn is equal to U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay, so if you are using these equations and if you know the definitions, then it is done. So definitions in the sense, it is like mod of all small parts of displacements, like length of the small individual displacements, and displacement is nothing but change in position vector. Average velocity, how defined? Total displacement by total time. How do you find instant velocity? Rate of change of position vector. Average speed, again we have to find the total distance by time. Instantaneous speed is a mod of velocity. Average acceleration, how to find? Total change in velocity by time. Instantaneous is rate of change of velocity. If you know these and if you know the basic standard results, then it is done. Okay, so password వచ్చేసి all zeros. Okay, so let us continue our discussion just with the concept as well as the questions simultaneously. So what do you have here? So a particle is moving along x-axis where the position is given, and just they are asking to find initial velocity and initial acceleration. How to find? Again, just now we have seen, if you want to find initial velocity, first we have to find velocity, which is differentiation. Just differentiate. What will be coming out here? So alpha, differentiation of t power 4, 4t cube plus 2 beta t plus gamma plus 0. And acceleration, what is it? Then what is the acceleration will be? Once again differentiate. So it becomes 12 alpha t square plus 2 beta. That's it. And we want initial value. So put t is equal to 0. Very simple question. So it becomes 0, 0. This becomes only gamma is left. And here what is left? 2 beta is left. So they are asking to find ratio. So gamma is to 2 beta. Gamma is to 2 beta. That is option D. Very simple. Again, basic definitions. If you know definition, 50% of kinematics is done. And if you know how to use this equation, 100% of kinematics is done. But with practice, you can do faster. So that's what is all required for kinematics. Nothing. Again, we have position vector. They're asking to find magnitude and direction of velocity. How to find magnitude first? Again, differentiate. So if you're differentiating directly, so it is coming out what? 4i cap plus 4tj cap plus 0. Then if you want the t is equal to 1 second, it is 4 I cap, 4j cap. So we want magnitude separately. For a vector, how to find magnitude? So this is a vector. So under root of x component square plus y component square. And what is direction? How to find angle? So y component by x component with x axis. So that is 1 4 by 4, which is 1. So 45 degrees, and the value will be 4 root 2. That is option A it is. Okay. So that is it. Just again basic definition and direct equation. Here what you have, a velocity whenever vehicle is traveling half the distance. Again, this is standard model question. What is the thing you have to do? First draw the diagram. Just make it simple. Understand, put it in diagram form. A vehicle travel half the distance. If the total distance is s, half the distance is traveling with speed v, and remaining distance its speed is 2v. Then we want to find average speed. Definition. What is average speed? Total distance, this is remaining distance s by 2. Total distance by time. So let us say t1 and t2. How much time does it take here? How much time does it take here? So t1 is equal to, again, distance by speed. t2 is equal to distance by speed. So this is what s by 2v and s by 4v. So that's it. We substitute s by 2v by s by 4v. So s common cancel. So if you send here 4v goes to numerator, 2 plus 1 3. So answer is 4v by 3. Okay. Okay. So what is the thing we are doing? Nothing. Getting the marks easily. So kinematics, easy questions. Again, the ratio of distance traveled by freely falling body in the first second, third second, fourth second, and so on. Again, this is a direct result, and we remember it as Galileo's law of odd numbers. So that is, it is applicable whenever in the free fall. When the body is freely falling, the ratio of distance traveled in equal intervals of time will be odd numbers. If you know the result, it's done. Or else, what is the way to do? You have to use SN formula. Initial velocity 0, that is acceleration, okay, minus g by 2 into 2n minus 1. So basically, these are what? Odd numbers. So what is the answer will be coming? Odd numbers will be coming out. Okay. So again, now graphs. Yes, in kinematics, motion is straight line. Graphs are important. So if you're talking about graphs, little bit, just I'll give you a simple idea here. We have how many graphs? xt graph, vt graph, at graph. These are the general graphs, and we also have the as graph and v square s graph. These are the most commonly asked. So here what will happen? If you have the graph, so here the slope of x versus t graph, that is nothing but differentiation. So differentiation gives us velocity. So slope gives you velocity. Here if you find xt graph, the slope gives you velocity. And if you see different slopes means velocity is varying, so acceleration is there. Okay. And here vt graph, and it is a favorite questions of, again, NDA. They will be conducting the questions, and different exams will be having the questions from vt graph. So again, the slope of vt graph is equal to acceleration, and area under vt graph, what does it come? Area under vt graph gives us displacement. If you're calculating this area, you'll get a displacement. So one more thing you have to remember is area above the time axis is positive, area below the time axis is negative. So basically, velocity positive is positive displacement, velocity negative is negative displacement. And AT graph, what does AT graph gives us? Like if you have something AT graphs. So again, so if you do integration, this area under AT graph, so gives us change in velocity, that is v minus u it is. And AS graph, so AS graph, where do we see? Again, if this is a graph, so this area, so basically gives us v square minus u square by 2 is equal to area under AS graph it is. And if v square s graph is there, so basically slope, so slope of the v square s graph is nothing but 2v dv by ds, again differentiation. So you see this part is what? Acceleration. So 2 times of acceleration is equal to slope of v square graph. This is it. These are the graphs. Only 5 graphs are there. If you understand this, any question from the graph from the kinematics is done. Okay. So next we have the question on directly equation. Now let us start questions on equations, the four equations of motion. So already we have written those equations as well. Now what do you have? There's a small block slides down the incline starting from rest, and it is traveling some distance in the nth second and in the n plus 1 second. So it is starting from rest. When it is starting from rest, again, just for visualization purpose, okay, I'll draw the diagram. It is going starting from rest. So what is Sn and what is Sn plus 1? Just formula. 0, initial velocity 0. Then acceleration is some constant a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Then 0 plus a by 2 into, now n plus 1 second. They are asking n plus 1. So n plus 1 minus 1. So what will be coming out here? If you divide, it is 2n minus 1 by 2n plus 1. So answer C. So again, anything else they are asking? Direct question where the things are directly based on equation. The fourth equation of motion. Again, so I think you are getting the confidence that the questions are very, very easy. Yesterday also we have seen units and measurements, direct questions. Again, if you see as a whole paper also, the paper will be very easy. Just only thing is you have to recollect on the spot. If you're able to revise the things multiple times, then you're on track. A ball is traveling, a ball is thrown vertically downwards. Okay, so this is something where we can draw the diagram where it is thrown vertical downward with a 20 meter per second. It is given from top of the tower. It hits the ground after some time with velocity. It is hitting the ground with velocity what? 80 meter per second. Now again we are solving. I gave you already the hint. The hint is we are solving the questions based on equation. They're asking the height. Height. Where is the height is involved here? As a starting point and final point, that is a displacement. So we want to find displacement. If you know initial velocity, if you know final velocity, how to find displacement? Which equation to be used? Huh? So v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, a is minus z and displacement minus h. So v square, 80 square minus 20 square is equal to 2 into 10 into h. Again, no need to solve this directly, or we can take 80. We can write a square minus b square. That is 80 plus 20, 100 into 80 minus 20, 60 by 20 is equal to h. So once thrice, h is 300. So again, very simple questions these are. Again, these all are PYQs. Directly they have been taken. Now we are entering into the next topic, motion in a plane. Okay, again we have seen the concept is not going to change. Only thing, what is the difference between motion in a straight line and motion in a plane? What is the difference? Only thing is we have the opportunity to study the motion along x-axis separately and y-axis separately. Everything is same, but the results will be a little bit more in number. So just be revising the things multiple times. Okay, so at the end again we'll see some of the results, at least for projectile motion we'll see them. So now here, based on concept, let us do some questions first. Okay, so we have x coordinate is given pi t minus 2t square, and y coordinate is given directly 10t. Now what they're asking, find acceleration, they are saying, that 2 at t is equal to 2 seconds. If you know position, how to find acceleration? Differentiate once, we'll get velocity. Differentiate once again, we'll get acceleration. Right? How to go back? If you know acceleration, how to find velocity? Integrate. That's it. Kinematics is all this only. So again, if you have done enough practice, so first, if you differentiate, Vx will be coming out to be what? Pi minus 40. If you want Ax minus 4, then if you differentiate, Vy is 10, then Ay is 0. So what is the acceleration we are getting? Acceleration at again we got a constant acceleration, so answer will be minus 4 meter per second square it is. Okay, so and a particle is executing uniform circular motion with a velocity and acceleration are given. Okay, so okay, we are having a simple question based on uniform acceleration. Or okay, uniform circular motion. Sorry, uniform circular motion we have, and with velocity is okay. In uniform circular motion, we have a particle, velocity is there, acceleration is this. That is what the concept. If you want to recollect the concept, what happens in uniform circular motion is speed is constant, but since direction is changing, the particle experiences centripetal acceleration. And what is centripetal acceleration? Magnitude is v square by r. And its acceleration is also continuously changing with the position. So acceleration is variable, velocity is variable. Okay. Whereas in non-uniform circular motion, here even though did not ask, just clarifying. In the case of non-uniform circular motion, v will be changing both in terms of magnitude and direction. So the one acceleration which changes magnitude is tangential acceleration, and centripetal acceleration, its job is to change direction. Okay. So here they are asking about uniform circular motion. So v as a vector, is a velocity, direction is changing. V is not constant, yes. V is constant, wrong. V is not constant, yes. This is also correct. Next, let us talk about acceleration. Acceleration is not constant, yes, it is correct. Because direction, if it is here, this is acceleration. If it is here, this is direction. So direction is changing. So A is not constant. A is constant, wrong. A is a constant. Okay. So this is wrong. So only one option saying both are right is B option. Direct concept based question it is. Okay. So next, again we are dealing with the motion plane. So a bullet is fired with certain speed and making an angle of direct question. So we have oblique projectile motion where angle is given and speed is given. So can you expect any question easier than this? So they're asking H max. What is H max formula? So u square sine square theta by 2g. Okay, that's it. So they have given the values. Just we have to take care. 280 square into 30. It is 1 by 2 whole square by 20. So just we have to do the solving part here. So we send this 2 inside 140. So 140 into 140 by 20. So I'll take out this 7. So 7, then 7, when what is the answer? Nearby, if you take, okay, G they are saying, take it as 1.9.8 they are saying. So the nearby answer is 1000 is there. Okay, we need not be very calculative here. So they said 9.8, if you take it, then you'll be getting answer 1000. Very easy. Next, we are having a horizontal bridge is built across a river. A student is standing on the bridge, throws a small ball vertical upwards. Okay, so we're having a bridge. This is a bridge, and there is a river. Here is a river, and so the person is standing here. A ball, and he throws the small ball vertically upwards. Okay, just like top of the tower, and the ball strikes the surface after 4 seconds. Then what is the height of the bridge above the water they are saying? Okay, again they gave time, they're asking height, which is nothing but displacement. If you know time, how to calculate displacement? If you know time, how to calculate displacement? That is displacement time relation. S is equal to ut minus half gt square. So here S is minus h because finally displacement is down, negative. Velocity is upwards, it is upwards. So I should take plus 4, and time is given 4 minus half g into 4 square. So minus h is equal to what? 16 pi, 16, you can say minus 18. So what is h is coming out to be? So 64 meters. So the height of the bridge is 64 meters it is. Okay. So again, direct questions. So we are back to motion plane. Again, they're asking projectile motion question. We are projected, and that's where you have to be careful. Angle is given just once you confirm with vertical direction. Sometimes you see in the previously they asked the question where the direction is given above the horizon. This thing you have to keep in mind. If you don't do this mistake, then your marks are here. Either you get plus 4 or you lose 5 marks. Okay, so that's where that, again, speed with accuracy. So what do you have here? We want to find the speed at highest point. What is the speed at highest point? When the particle reaches highest point, only x component will remain. That is u cos 30 we should write, isn't it? Because this angle is given as 60. Then automatically this angle becomes 30. So the x component is u cos 30. So 10 cos 30, which is 5 root 3. So 5 root 3 meter per second it will be coming out. Okay, then so we are circular motion. Once again we got a question. A particle moves in a circle, just a small particle moves in a circle of radius r, and it takes t to complete one revolution. It takes t to complete one revolution. So the, or else we can say what is t is equal to normally 2 pi r by v. So okay, fine. If this particle were projected with the same speed at an angle, okay, little bit makes your concepts. Fine. Now this particle, so actually we should get a speed from here. What is the speed will be coming out? V is equal to 2 pi r by t it is. Then, so now we are projecting at an angle theta. The same particle is projected at an angle theta with the horizontal. Now the maximum height is equal to 4r. Okay, here one thing which is also common is radius, and they are saying this is 4r. The maximum height is 4r, r is a radius here. Then they are asking to find theta. Again, simple. So what is h max is equal to? H max is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g. Now h max is given as 4r. So we substitute here. Just I will be solving here. This is I'm equating to 4r. Now if we start solving, again 2 steps will be getting the answer. So we square it. So square the velocity becomes 4 pi square r square by t square sine square theta by 2g is equal to 4r. So 1r got cancelled, 4 got cancelled. Now send everything this side. What is sine square theta is coming? So 2g t square by pi square r. Now send root. First you can put a root over it. It becomes 1 by 2. Then we can send, we want theta ultimately. So we can send theta is equal to, we can say sine inverse of. So sine inverse of, what do you have? 2g t square pi square r whole for 1 bit. It might look like something is happening, but just instead of giving velocity, now they are saying take it from time period. That's it. We get velocity, substitute, done. Again, just we follow the things, basics. Okay, so what you're having, a particle is moving with velocity, is acted by 3 forces shown by the figure, and here, okay, these are the vectors representing forces, and how the vectors are looking like. They formed a closed loop. Whenever they form, vectors form a closed loop, what is resultant is? Huh? Resultant is 0. When resultant is 0, net force is 0, acceleration is 0. When acceleration is 0, then the particle velocity, will it change? It remains constant. That's it. Okay, so these 3 forces are shown. The velocity of the particle, again, nothing will happen to this. Again, direct vectors based question. We are seeing 1 or 2 best vectors based question, basics. Now it is given that if the magnitude of the two, sum of magnitude of, they're saying magnitude of sum of two vectors. Let us take a vector plus b vector now is equal to magnitude of difference of the same two vectors. They are saying that the magnitudes are equal. Then what is the angle between them? Again, so how do you find angle? Let us take magnitude. What is the magnitude? Under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. And again, this is nothing much is there. If you know answer is very clear, okay, let me do it and confirm it for you. So minus 2ab cos theta. This is the magnitude. Now square root cancel. Then a square. Okay, once if you write it, a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. A square b square gone. So we bring a 4ab cos theta is 0. That means cos theta is 0. When cos theta is 0? When theta is 90 degrees. The vectors are perpendicular. The vectors are perpendicular. That's what the questions. Vectors, yes, you should know how to resolve into components. You should know how to add the vectors, subtraction of vectors, multiplication of vectors, both dot product and cross product, and what are the applications of dot product, what are the applications of cross product. Okay, so this is what we should be dealing with. Okay, and so let us see question which is asked on relative motion. Relative motion, so just a basic question they asked. Again, they don't go much deeper here. So is A swimmer in still water. Again, whenever they say swimmer in still water, means water is not still. So when does water appear still? When you move with the same velocity. That means this is a relative velocity test. So we can take if whether it is swimmer or boat, we can replace boat or swimmer. Again, if you follow the result, we can say this is relative velocity. Velocity of the boat with respect to river is given as 20 meter per second, and speed of the river is given as 10 meter per second. Fine. And they are saying something that the river is going east. That's what usually we take. And if he is standing on the south bank, and wishes to cross the river in the shortest path case, okay, that's what standard case. In river boat problems, there are only two cases. One is the shortest time, one is the shortest path. Here he wants to travel in the shortest path. How to travel in the shortest path? When he travels in this manner, river will push him, and final resultant velocity is here. So VB is here. And if you want to find this angle theta, what is the result? Cos theta is equal to minus VR by VBR. This is angle with respect to, so that's what you're asking, angle at which he should make the strokes with respect to north. Okay, first let us find with the east, then we can tell automatically angle with the north. So what is cos theta is equal to minus VR by VBR, minus 1 by 2. Cos theta is minus 1 by 2. That means theta is how much? 120 degrees. If theta is 120 degrees, then this is with the east. Don't forget that. Don't pick directly answer. Okay, so they are asking again. So with the north we want to find. So with respect to, the question says with respect to north, what is the answer should be? Answer should be 30 degrees. So with respect to north we got, sorry, this is with respect to east we got, right? With respect to east we got angle is 120. With respect to north it will be 30 degrees will be coming out. Okay, again direct question based on standard result. And if you see, okay, if you see the other case, there are only two cases here. If this is a river, if this is a boat, how to reach in shortest time? Travel in this manner. If you travel in this manner, river will add its velocity, resultant will be here. This is what we say drift. If the width of the river is d, what is the time taken to cross the river? Time taken is d by VBR. And what is the drift is equal to? It's a displacement along x-axis, that is VR into time d by VBR. This is a, what is this case? It is the shortest time to cross the river. Okay, and what is the shortest path? That's what just now we discussed. In the shortest path case, what is the thing we have seen? So the boat should travel in this manner so that the river will take, these are the vectors, and resultant velocity in this manner. So we will reach in this way. And what is the cos theta condition is equal to minus VR by VBR. And what is the time taken in this case will be coming out to be under root of, again it is result. We are not deriving it, just we can derive in 2-3 steps, but this is what the things are. Shortest time case, shortest path case, that's it. Okay, so now let us, we are at the end of the motional plane. So again, this is what the questions we are seeing. Now let us see, again we got a question same. A particle moving with a uniform speed in circular path. When you are moving in a circular path with uniform speed, velocity varies, acceleration varies, nothing is constant. So what has happened? Varying velocity, varying acceleration. Again, it is a repeated question. Now let us get back to the topic of laws of motion. So again, if you want a little bit, again these are the topics, kinematics and laws of motion. Why we picked together is they do not have lot of concept. Applications, yes, but concept not much. Laws of motion, first what does it deals with? It deals with the 3 laws. First is inertia, law of inertia. A body which is at rest remains at rest. Inertia is a property. If you talk about law of inertia, what does it say? A body which is at rest remains at rest until compelled by external forces. Or we can say when net force is 0 acceleration will be 0 also, we can say. Then second law, second law, it says that if you want to change the momentum, the rate of change of momentum is equal to force, and from this only we can derive F is equal to ma. That's it. Majority of questions are based on this. That is, it says what? Sum of all forces, you can write in this manner. If sum of forces along x-axis will result in acceleration along x-axis, sum of force along y-axis result in acceleration along y-axis. This, if you are able to use after drawing free body diagram. If you draw free body diagram, if you're able to use the equations, done. Laws of motion, this is it, maximum. And next, third law, knowingly, unknowingly, we'll be applying regularly. Whenever the bodies are in contact, we show normal reaction acting on both the bodies. A string connecting both the bodies, tension should be shown on both the bodies. For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. With this only we can explain even conservation of linear momentum applications. Okay, right? So again, we are not going to that now. And one more small concept here we are having is impulse. Impulse. What is impulse? And what does it do? So whenever a body experiences impulse, so it is due to the large force. When a large force acts for a short amount of time, the body will be experiencing change in momentum. So this change in momentum, if you are able to calculate, then we can find there are different ways to calculate it. Okay, so and lastly, what is the thing we have to take care of is, like, if you have multiple body system. When you have multiple body system including pulleys, so we should be able to apply constraints. So we'll see those things. Just a few standard cases are there. We'll be able to use the constraints and general constraints. Then more or less this is what the topic will be. So when you're talking about impulse, how to calculate impulse, what are the different ways? There are 4 ways to calculate impulse. So J is equal to delta P. And actually what is P? Momentum. How to calculate? Mass into velocity. And that is delta P is P final minus P initial, which is m into final velocity minus initial velocity. This is one method. And other method, if you know force, if it is a constant force, F into time interval. And if it is a variable force, then we don't have much of a choice to integrate. Okay. And if a graph is given, if which graph we're talking about, that is FT graph is given. Area under FT graph gives us impulse. So these are the methods to calculate. Okay. So, and whenever we have pulleys and blocks, as the questions will be seeing, concept wise, this is it. So it's all about free body diagrams, writing equations. And one more thing is, yes, we have one small concept of equilibrium. What is equilibrium? It is a state of the body. When it is at rest, it remains at rest. When it is in motion, it remains in motion, uniform motion. That is actually happens when net force is 0. That is here, again, sum of forces along x-axis 0, sum of forces along y-axis also needs to be 0. If there is z also, this is it. And this is a quick summary of this topic. Let us do the questions based on these things. We can solve the most. Okay, so what is the thing we are having? A box is pulled by the cord along the frictionless plane at an angle of, so just okay. So we are having a box of mass 5 kg. It is pulled by the cord along the frictionless plane and it is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal. Tension in the cord is given as 30 newtons. Then they are asking to find acceleration. So here, little bit of vectors, resolving of components. We have force. What are the components are here? That is a T cos 30. And this is a T sin 30. So what is T sin 30 value? 30 sin 30 is 15. With 15, can you lift 50 newtons? Not possible. So it is only going to accelerate along x-axis. That is the T value is 30. and cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So overall, the motion is along x-axis. Along x-axis, only the body is moving. So what should I write? Sum of forces along x-axis is equal to mass into axle along x-axis. That's it. So this is what 15 root 3 is equal to 5 ax. So this is 3. What is acceleration is coming out to be? Very simple, 3 root 3 meter per second square. So answer will be, we want to find acceleration of the box. So we have, once again, 15. Okay, so again, this is the tension in the cord is 30 and it is pulled up the frictionless plane at an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal. Okay, this is what we'll be having. 3 root 3 will be coming out. Maybe the options are mismatched here. Okay, fine. Okay, so next, okay, the things. Now next one is again simple question where the blocks are touching each other and you're applying the force. Again, direct question we are having here. There is a force acting on the 2 and 3 kg body, and the force they're asking to simply find force exerted by A on B. If A is exerting some force on B, so here there is a contact. Whenever there is a contact, what will happen? There is a normal reaction. How do we solve this kind of question? Very easy. Draw the free body diagram. This is one block, this is another block. You show the forces, 2 kg, 3 kg block, here F, here N, here N. So this is accelerating, this is accelerating. Now, one question that you can ask yourself is, can we consider this as one block or at least acting like one block? Because both are moving together. When they are considered to be one system, net force is equal to total mass into acceleration. What is acceleration is 2 meter per second square. We got acceleration, now we want normal reaction. Now you take any one of the equation. We can take n is equal to 3a, net force is equal to mass into acceleration. So 6 newtons. What is normal reaction is coming out to be 6 newtons. The force is 6 newtons will be coming out. Okay, so this is the things we are having. So again, okay, now the questions, same things, motion, forces, free body diagram, writing equations, then solving to find what are the things they're asking. So we have a situation. Think whenever a friction is involved, whenever friction is involved, think you have a situation where you have to decide how the friction is acting. Okay, friction is not like regular forces. Friction, the specialty is it is a self-adjusting force. What happens self-adjusting force? In the case of if you are increasing force, initially friction will increase. Unless the external force is able to overcome the maximum friction, the body will remain at relatively rest. So that's what we have to identify. So whenever friction is involved, always go for calculating Fs max. Okay, that is maximum value of static friction. A block of mass is placed on inclined plane. Of coefficient of friction is mu. Okay, value is given. What is the net force acting on the block? Okay, let us see that. So net force on the block, if there is acceleration, we'll write mass into acceleration. Net force on the block will be, if it is not moving, what you will say? Net force will be 0. That's what also we'll be writing next. So that's what you have to check here. Let us see what are the forces acting down the plane. What is the force? That is mg sine theta. And so the friction will be trying to act up. So what is Fs max is equal to mu n, and mu n is equal to, here we have a shortcut actually, whether the block will move or not. How to decide the shortcut? Okay, first just I'll show you the shortcut here. On an inclined plane, whether the block will move or not is who will decide? When tan theta is greater than mu, it will accelerate, it will move. If tan theta is less than or equal to mu, it doesn't move. That is angle of what? Angle of repose. So if you check what is tan theta here, 1 by root 3. And what is mu also? 1 by root 3. When both are equal, does it move? No, directly we can say answer is 0. Net force is 0 because it is not moving. When the body is not moving, it is in equilibrium. In the case of equilibrium, what happens? Net force becomes 0 it is. Okay, so that is what, if you want to do regular method, what do you do? We have to check. So mu into n is equal to mg cos theta, and this is 1 by root 3 mg into cos 30 root 3 by 2, which is mg by 2, and mg sin theta is also mg by 2. So when both are equal, when mg sin theta and friction both are equal, what will happen? they will cancel, net force is 0. Again, it is 2-3 steps more, but finally the answer will be net force will be 0. Okay, now so we are something related to the basics of forces. A football player is moving southward. Okay, so we have a football player. If we take this is a and suddenly this is a player, he's going south, and suddenly he turns to east with the same speed to avoid an opponent. The force, how do you calculate the force? So what is the force? How do you measure it here? The force is due to, our force is causing acceleration. How to find acceleration? That is change in velocity, final velocity minus initial velocity by time. Final velocity direction. Final velocity direction is east direction. So we can write that is vi cap. Initial velocity direction is downwards, that is minus j cap. So v minus j cap divided by time. So minus or minus becomes plus. If minus or minus become plus, then becomes so I cap plus j cap. So finally we are getting vectors I cap and j cap. So it will be in north east direction will be coming out. Okay. So this is one more thing that I can add here, the beginning of concept here. If you want to find instantaneous force, this is the way. If you want to find average, if you want to find average force, how to find average force? Total change in momentum by total time. On this also we can expect the questions. This is at the instant. This is average force. Okay. This was a question. The football player question is based on average force it is. Okay. And so again we are coming back to calculate the maximum acceleration of a moving car so that the body lying on the floor of the car remains stationary, and it is given that the coefficient of static friction is given as 0.15. So here we are having a car. We are having a car. Okay, let us draw it little big as a platform. Let us show this is a car, floor of the car, and the car is accelerating. If the car is accelerating, why any object placed on the floor will move? If you are pulling something with respect to car, will it experience some force or not? Right? So it is going to experience pseudo force. So if the pseudo force is greater than friction, it will move, but we don't want to move. So what you should say? Pseudo force should be equal to Fs max. And how to calculate pseudo force? It is mass into observer acceleration is equal to mu mg. Mm got cancel. What is the maximum acceleration? Mu g. Mu is 0.15, just multiply into 10. It becomes what? 1.5 meter per second square. This is the concept. It's a standard model questions. These are where the question is mixed with pseudo force and friction based question it is. Okay. So now we are having a bullet from a gun is fired in a rectangular wooden block with velocity u. Okay, the bullet travels 24 centimeters to the block along its length horizontally and becomes u by 3. Okay, so what is the thing we are having is this is a wooden block, and so we are hitting it. A bullet hits. This is a question actually we can say is kinematics question. It's not loss of motion here. Okay, so bullet is entering and it is coming out. With what speed it is coming out? U by 3 it is coming out. So during this what happened? It was decelerated. Now further it penetrates into the block and comes to rest. And they're asking comes to rest exactly at the other end of the block. Then what is the total length of the block? They're asking to find the total length of the block here. So okay, so we have first block is of 24 centimeters, and the next block I'm putting it right away here. So we want to know this length is how much. So we want to find out the displacement, because finally the velocity is what? Finally velocity is 0. If you know velocity and if you want to find displacement, how do you gonna do that? So you can use our equations of motion. That is, for the first thing we can write v square minus u square is equal to 2 minus a into s, that is 24 centimeters. Okay, and once again I'm writing, so 0 square minus u square is equal to 2 minus a into length. So 2 minus a, everything gets cancelled. Now we have to find the length. Just one step we'll be getting the answer here. Okay, so what is the thing will happen here? So here 1 minus 1 by 9, 8 by 9 by 1 by 9 is equal to 24 by L. 9 and gets cancelled. Once 3, what is L is equal to? 3 centimeters. Okay, once can this 1 by 9, 1 minus 1 by 9, 8 by 9. Yes. Okay, so we'll be having what? The total length of the block they're asking. Okay, the total already is what? 24, and then 3, 24 plus 3, 27 will be coming out. So we have to add total length of the block. So that is what will be coming out, 3 centimeters extra. Okay, so this is it. And next, again, simple direct questions we are coming back to finally. So we have F, we have R. They're asking scalar product is how much? Then vector product are what magnitudes. So vectors, again, what is the dot product? F dot R, how do you find? So 6, we have to multiply x with x, then y with y, then z with z. Then it is coming out to be 10. So 10, there's two options are there. Then you have to do cross product F cross R. How to do cross product? You have to build a 3 cross 3 matrix, I, J, K, plus, minus, plus. First you have to fill first vector 2, 1, minus 1, 3, 2, minus 2. What is the cross product is coming? I cap. So minus 2 plus 2. Minus 2 into minus 1 minus plus 2. Then minus j. Then we have to multiply minus 4. Then plus 3. Then plus k cap. So 2 minus 3, 1. So what it is coming out? 0. Then here plus 1. So j cap plus k cap. What is its magnitude? Magnitude of this is root 2. So what is the answer will be? 10 and root 2. So we'll be having the magnitudes of 10 and root 2 will be coming out. Okay, again simple question based on vector product and scalar product. So in the diagram shown, we have what is the normal reaction between 2 and 1 kg they are asked. Again, I have to draw the free body diagram. So we have 60 up, 18 down. So what is the net force direction? So we can consider this as a one single block. If you consider this as one single block, so first of all, what is the net downward force? Weight. This is 6g sine 30. That is equal to what? The 60, 30. So who will win? 60 upwards, 48 downwards. Who will win? Upwards. So net force is upwards. They're accelerating upwards. So we can draw now the individual free body diagram. So net force, they are accelerating. And how to find net? The net upward force is 60. Net downward force is 48. So net force is equal to total mass into acceleration. So 60 minus 48 is equal to 6a. What is acceleration is coming out to be 2 meter per second square. We got acceleration. Now we want to find normal reaction between 2 and 1. So we can show normal reaction on 1 is here, and we have to show the other forces. This is 1g. We can write, I'll write here 1g sine theta, and this is normal reaction. This is, that's it. Now it is accelerating up. So what you can write, n minus g sine 30. 1g sine 30 is equal to mass into acceleration. N minus 5 is equal to 2. What is n is coming out to be 7. Okay, one more thing I missed. So you see, I missed this 18. Okay, so you should not miss the things like that. So here, that's why the things have to be careful. Minus 18 is equal to mass into acceleration. So n minus, this is 5, and this is minus 23 is equal to 2. So n is equal to what? 25 newtons. So we'll be getting answer 25 newtons here. Okay, so again free body diagram, net force is equal to ma. That's what the concept is. Again, you know what are these questions are standard question. Acceleration will be. So here what you can write? Again, if you know the shortcut, helping forces and opposing forces shortcut if you know, or else you have to draw the diagram T, 4g, 6g, and T. So then it is going down, it is going up. So we have to write two equations. For the first one, equation is what? 6g minus T is equal to 6a. For this, what is the equation? It is going up. T minus 4g is equal to 4a. Then that is a 2g is equal to 10a. What is a is equal to g by 5. A is equal to g by 5 will be coming out. So that is the answer is G by 5. Okay, this is it. Loss of motion. We are almost coming to the end. And so here a block of mass 10 kg is in contact with the inner wall of the hollow cylindrical drum. We have a hollow cylindrical drum here. And we have the radius and coefficient of friction is given. And what is the minimum angular speed with which the block has to rotate so that it remains stationary about the axis? Again, this is also standard model question that is we discuss in the part of the horizontal circular motion, where if something is rotating by remaining in contact, so due to contact normal reaction and mg is acting downwards and the body will be experiencing friction upwards. So what is normal reaction is doing? It is providing necessary centripetal force. And what is centripetal force? We can write as, if you want, we can write mv square by r, or else we can also write m omega square r. Okay, now, and this normal reaction will provide the necessary friction also. F should be at least be balancing mg, that is a mu into n is equal to mg. So mu into m omega square r is equal to mg. Gets cancelled. What is omega square is equal to g by mu r, and if you put the root over it, so omega, this is what will be coming out. Now they are saying take g value as 10. So 10, what is mu value is given as? Okay, mu value is 0.1 and radius is 1. So 0.1 and 1. So this is what root 100. It is 10 radians per second. So what is the omega value should be 10 radians per second it is. Okay, so this is what we have been seeing, the regular questions. Nothing complicated, nothing difficult, standard questions these are. If you do one book properly, if you do the module properly, then you can easily get to do all these questions. A mass is attached to the wire and it is in a vertical circle, it is rotating. The wire is most likely to break when? Okay, so this is a little bit question where we have to deal with the vertical circular motion concept. But again, since we are at the end stage, where the tension is maximum, the tension is maximum when the wire is at lowest point, when the mass is at lowest point here. We'll again discuss in next topic as well. Which of the following statements is incorrect? Rolling friction is smaller than sliding friction. Yes, it is correct. Limiting value of static friction is direct proportional to normal reaction. Yes, it is correct. Frictional forces opposes relative motion. Yes, it is correct. Coefficient of sliding friction has dimensions of length. Coefficient of friction has no dimension. So this is a incorrect. They're asking incorrect it is. Okay. So yes, we are at the last stage and where the questions mixed with the concept with pseudo force. Okay. So a block of mass m, again we'll just conclude with this. What is the things we are having here is a block of mass m is placed on a smooth incline we are having. Okay, fine. And wedge is accelerating so that it should remain, the block should remain at rest. Why it is remaining at rest with respect to this? Again, whenever you're accelerating and you're observing, we should apply pseudo force. And this is normal reaction. This is mg. So what should happen? So n, if you take this is theta, so this is theta, so this is theta. What is n sine theta? And this is n cos theta. What is happening here? N cos theta is balancing mg. What is n sine theta is doing? It is balancing pseudo force. If you divide, so tan theta is equal to a by g. So what we want to find, the relation between a and again a and g. So what is a is equal to, it should be g tan theta. So this is the acceleration required. So what is answer will be a is equal to g tan theta is required. Okay, so these are the questions that we have been seeing. And so again we can see that the questions are also very easy questions. We are having remaining two questions I have taken here. What is the maximum safe speed? So this is a banked roads. In the case of banked roads, if this is a banked road you're having, and if your circular path is there, on the circular path, so if you are moving, what is the safe speed we have to maintain for the car? For the car, what is the safe speed you have to maintain? So V max and V min, we have two results. Root of Rg, again tan theta, we can remember it as simple formula. Tan theta plus mu by 1 minus mu tan theta is the maximum safe speed. And for minimum safe speed, what will happen? Here minus and denominator plus will be coming. They're asking to find maximum safe speed here. So where we should have plus in the numerator and RG, root RG should be there, and plus and minus should be there. This is what the result is. And the last question, if you see again, they're asking to find contact force. We have seen 2-3 questions on contact force itself. And here see, very simple. We have applied a force of 12 newtons here. If you're applying the force of 12 newtons, we consider it as one single block. Then what is the acceleration here? The acceleration, so the blocks 4 to 1 and so 14, this is 14 newtons here. This is 14 newtons we are acting. Then so net force 14 is equal to total mass into acceleration. So A is equal to 2. We want to find force between A and B. So if you draw the free body diagram between A and B, here 14, here is a normal reaction. So we can take only one, this one is enough. So what you can write? 14 minus n is equal to mass into acceleration. So 14 minus 8 is equal to n is equal to 6 newtons. Okay, this is it. So this is what the questions for the today's session. So where we have done different kinds of questions based on motion in a straight line, motion in a plane, loss of motion. We have seen that all the questions are direct. We have tried to cover the concept. We have revised the concept based questions and graphs also little bit part we have done. So again, these things for loss of motion and kinematics, if you're able to do the basics properly, definitely 3 questions from these 2 topics. From yesterday's topic we have done 2 questions, and today's topic we have done 3 questions. So in 2 days we covered 5 questions which are going to appear. So minimum, that is. So that means, so we have already got in just 2 hours 20 marks we have secured. So in this way will be again for every the next coming days for 15 remaining 13 more classes will be having 1 hour, will be at least trying to secure 10 marks on an average. So 15 days, 15 hours, 150 marks. Okay, yes, it is a big challenge. Again, the things are very simple. We'll be dissecting it so that you will feel also easy. Physics for NEET it is easy. Okay, okay then. So again we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.